terrible mom. Using pretzels to get the photo. I love you, Lex. Okay, I'm not sure where it cut out, so I'm just going to start from the beginning. And the garbage truck came through right when I think it cut out. They've been, they're doing garbage and recycling today. So, we got 7.5 inches, which is one of my perfect sizes, is about 7 inches, by 9 3/4 of an inch. And this is the digital kit that I said I'm going to be working with, at least one of them that I'm going to be working with in the 12 Days of Craftmas. And we have some printer paper here. And this is not only a tutorial, but these will also be available on my shop when they're finished. And they're going to kind of be refillables for some Christmas style Madoris I'm working with. In the future, not only will there be Christmas Madoris, but there will be standard Madoris of just any type of design that you can think of or would like to have, as well as holidays, things like that. So keep in mind, now what I'm going to show you is going to be in a future tutorial. Hopefully I'll be able to fit it into the 12 Days of Craftmas. But as you can see, I pre-cut all of these for Madori covers. These are going to be like traveler journals covers, and then you'll be able to fit your Madori inside. So today we're going to be designing a simple, sweet Madori, especially for those who've never done one. At least I think that's what they're called, remembering off the top of my head. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go sew around the edge of this. Very, very quick like. Alright guys, I just sewed around the edges. Nothing fancy, just a simple regular stitch. Now, these will be made to order when I do list them up in my shop. So if you would like to order one, they're obviously going to be listed as in the photograph, but you're going to be able to get like duplicates of these. So if you want like 2 or 3 of them, you can order them. And I don't want them sitting around my house after they're made. So that's why, because these are going to be very simple, I want them to be made right after ordering. Alrighty, so now where's my ruler? I'm starting to lose my head, which means it's about time to finish up filming. And I still have to do one more video. Alright, we have little over 9.5. So 9 divide, I can't, let's see, 4 and 4 is 8, so it'd be 4.5 approximately. So we'll do 4 and approximately 1/4. So I'm just going to fold it in half a little bit. I'm just going to put the 2 points together, and so that way I know exactly where I need the fold at. I've done it numerous times like this for other projects. And of course it's right in the middle. Alright, where is... Alright, here's our bone folder. I'm just going to put that little crease right on the 5. There we go. Push light at first, because I know I've fallen off track and scooted over. That way you kind of have a good feel for it. Alright. I'm going to fold back a little bit first, and then fold forward. Perfect. Alright, now we're gonna whack it. Alright, look at that beautiful, lovely lady. Alright, now of course we have to cut our paper to size. Now, I want it to be a little bit smaller actually. I kind of want it to almost fit inside the stitching. So it'd be, of course, it's going to be 9, and we'll just do 9.5 to be safe, and 7 1/4. 9.5 and 7 1/4. Okay, so how many sheets of paper do we want this to have? If we do 10 sheets, which means folded in half, there'll be 20. So we'll stick with 10. Now we're going to do 9.5 by 7.25. 9.5. Measure twice, cut once. Save this because in the future I will be doing a paper making tutorial as well. Once I'm done doing the paper making tutorial, you'll be able to find it in my Lil Miss Dasie shop. I've been talking about it for a long while now, and I just haven't had the time, and I'm hoping after Christmas I will. I wanted to keep the papers for the Christmas ones, especially the set white and pristine. In the future, I will be using my hand-dyed paper, and that is actually my most popular item that I sell. Definitely on Etsy. I've sold a lot of it on Etsy. Alrighty. Now, I would use the folding board, but it's easier just to grab them, line them up perfectly, and make sure you have a good slant going on here, that it's a pretty even slant going on. See, look at how really nice that looks. Alright, now we will need our folder here. And just, of course, push down on the edges ever so wonderfully. Perfect. Now it hangs over the edge a little bit. That's okay. You can crop it. And I think I'm just going to take off approximately 1/8 of an inch. That, and it'll flatten it up real nice too, because you do have 10 sheets of paper folded in half. So it does point it out and make it longer than it really is. Oh, we got a fingerprint there. Uh-oh, spaghettios. So just right there. Alrighty. And I'm going to have to recut one of those pages. I know I probably shouldn't have, but I spent $30 on myself. I bought a pair of shoes. I was really, really happy with them. I love them. Other than that, all of the finances that they all went to Christmas presents. So I'm very blessed. You guys are amazing, and I finally got to have a wonderful Christmas this year because of you guys. Okay, guys, for this next step, we need an awl, some thread. And I love using this thread lately. This is used for not knitting, like doily making and stuff. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Please drop a comment in the box below if you know what it is. My mom loves doing it, and my grandma always did too, but I never learned. Okay, so this is my wonderful vintage tin. I love it. My mom gave it to me. Ooh, I need to take that. I forgot I had some. And of course, we are going to need a needle. And most of all, Fluffy is wiping his boogers. Yes, most of all, Fluffy is wiping his boogers. Huff, Fluff. Yeah, booger wiper. Wiping his boogers in his basket. Wiping his boogers in his basket. It's such a little silly. Okay, so most of all, phone books. So, especially if you want to protect your surface, I use one underneath. This is the easiest and cheapest way I have found. And of course you open up your phone book. This is why I have one underneath, so when it pokes through, it hits the phone book and not your surface. Of course, line them up. All right, now there's no dots. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what I really like to do to make my lines, and again, this ruler is going to come in handy, is we are going to take our paper and we're going to go, I don't want to use the 2 or the 9. I feel they're too close to the edge. And we need a pen for this. Okay, so I'm using a Uniball. The reason why I suggest this pen is because you don't have to sit and scribble a million times in order to get it to work unless the ink is running out. Alright, so we're going to go, this is how I count. I don't really count. I go down, up, down, up, down, up. So if you land on the last stitch and it means down, that means you have an odd count of holes. You want an even count. That's usually what I try and stick to. So we're 1 notch above 2 and 1 notch for 1 notch above 9 and 1 notch below 2. That means we're perfectly center. So now on the 8, we're just going to put a little dot. On the 7, and I usually keep my stitch work about an inch apart. I found that that is nearly the perfect size ratio for me anyway. Each person is different. You can do tight stitching, you can do wide stitching. It is all in personal preference. That, and I find that an inch is easy to do because it's a quick, easy measure on your ruler. All right, now we have a place to poke all our holesies. Let's move our ruler, put away our pen. All right. Now we're just going to fold. And now we can see all of our wonderful holes. And of course we got Fluffy down there hacking up something. I don't know what. He's an old man. He's getting old. Fluffy. All right. I'm going to center this as best as possible. It looks like we got about 1/8 of an inch on top and bottom. Now I'm going to set it in place and hold it really nicely so we don't have any shifting. And of course I say hold it right after I don't know where my awl is. Alright, it's right here. Now we're going to put our little awl right on our, and push down. Perfect, right on our little dot. And again, we're going to push down. Don't forget we have that second phone book underneath the spine of this first one. That is going to protect our surface. Phone books are amazing for this. About any other style, you have to use a soft cover book for this because obviously if you use a hardcover, the spine is just going to get in your way. All right. Look at that perfect notch work. We have perfect alignment, just downright beautiful. All right, let's get these out of the way. Okay, now we have our needle and our thread. I left it in here, that way I wouldn't lose it. Okay. So, because we're working with this such a small project, I'm not counting how many signatures I have. So I just have 1 signature. So I'm going to make my string 1, 2, I'm just going to say 3. That way any excess, I have plenty of string to work with. And you can use the leftover string for other projects. If you feel comfortable doing 2.5, 2.5 is fine. I wouldn't go any shorter than that. You're bound to run out of string. Alrighty. Now I'm going to look at my pattern. I want the strings in the back. So I want to start at the bottom. I'm going to start at the bottom in the back. And I'm going to go, oh, not like that, obviously. Now hold this string out of the way. I'm going to use my pinky, that way it doesn't get in the way of this stitch work. Now I'm going to pull until I see the first tail, and I'm going to use my finger now to hold this string in place. Now I'm going to go down, and here comes an airplane. And this is where I'm going to speed it up possibly a little bit, so just keep an eye on the needle and my hand movements. Alright, now we are at the top on the outside of the cover. Now, if you have even stitching, this is where you can tie it off if you want. You can also go back down if you wish. Now, it works a little bit easier on this with odd stitching, but I like even stitching. I don't know what it is. Now we're going to come back through, and you see where this string is? We are going to go down and come back down. Extend out our thread some, and we're just going to drop back down where there is no string right there. I see how we're getting a nice tight stitch there. And now you're going to start getting this tail a little bit in your way. Just use your fingers to hold it out of your way while you pull down. And just and then you would just tie it off. I want to tie it off on the outside in the back. So I'm going to drop it down as low as possible. So I'm going to pull the string coming out of the bottom tight. I'm going to drop this one around, pull up again. Now it's wrapped around this string some. See that? Alright, now we have a tight pull right here. Alright, now I'm going to put my thumb on there to hold it in place because that's where I want my knot. Now I'm going to go over again, pull through. Now I want this to pull this way, like this. So this is how I want it to sit. And I'm just going to pull using my 2 side fingers. Perfect. And our little signature is finished. Isn't that so pretty? Now, if you had longer strings, which I should have pulled my string longer on this one side, that's okay though because I didn't want it too long. Now you can tie, and especially depending on what kind of string you have, what color it is, how pretty it is. Now you can tie a little bow. You put little knots at the bottom of your bow, tie little bells at the bottom, or just not even do a bow and tie little bells at the bottom. Anything you like along those lines. The sky is the limit. The only limits you have are the ones you put on yourself. All right, let's cut off this extra piece. And there you have it, a nice little signature Madori for your traveler's notebook. All right, now I want to do a tad bit of decorating, and I love this paper so much that we're going to use it again. And of course, we are going to use this Merry Christmas. If you watched my previous video, I'm going to try and remember to leave it in the description box below. I am going to be making a lot of videos today, so I may not remember which one's which. I'm going to have to go through and re-watch them in order to remember which ones I have to leave links for. So just keep that in mind. I may not have put them all up in time. Alrighty. Merry Christmas, and I want it in the blue white. No, it didn't stand out enough on one of my previous projects, so I want this beautiful, loud, magnificent gold. That's what I want. All right. And I think I'm going to tear this one out too. All right. And we need our paper, which is now on the floor. Okay, so this is what I use when I emboss. Now that my embossing ink is probably already dry. Here comes the Air Force Base, guys. Like clockwork, right when I start filming again. Alright. I hope they're not too noisy. Let's get some gold in here. There we are. Oh, it double printed. Alright. You have to be careful with this and wipe off the double print carefully, because you obviously don't want to wipe off the other one that you are working with. Just go in with this needle and wipe off the double print. Alrighty. I love it when it finally flashes. It's so pretty. Alright, now let's immediately put this away. Now this is why I do it on top of the paper. It just works perfect, and it's pretty much free. Alright, let's go. Alright, now we're just going to hold the canister with our hands while we flick the paper. Because we obviously don't want it flying all over the table. Alright. There we are. Perfect. And of course we need a lid for our embossing ink. We don't want it to go dry on us. Now that we've done that, okay, it's nice and dry. So now we can use our thumb to protect it while we tear away all of this excess paper. I'm going to just tear that off. That's so pretty. I love it. All right. Now on a previous video you guys watched, actually, I'm going to stitch around this. All right, guys, we stitched around it. It is all beautimous. Now we're going to add some hot glue. If you didn't watch my previous 12 Days of Craftmas video, we're just going to add some hot glue to give this a good rise. And we're going to let that hot glue cool off and set. Alrighty. Now I have one pretty flower here. I think I want a few more. This is also from a previous video, but I feel like they just match this paper kit so wonderfully. And I figure I might as well do them in a set. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna, actually, you know what? I don't want that one. I want the green on these ones this time, because last time we didn't keep all of the green. This time I want the green. Alrighty, now another thing I want, and I will be right back. Okay guys, so I got some coffee paper here, and I tore out a circle a little bit bigger than the Merry Christmas. And I have this gold string. I was possibly going to use it on a previous project, but I decided I don't want to. But this time I do want to on this one. So I want a bow. This is how I'm going to do it. 2, 3, 4. And I want my loopies to be a little wonky. Yeah. Some wonky loopies going on here. Maybe one more for good measure. Out the side right here. There. 5 loopies for good measure. And we'll put the big loopy as best as we can in the back. So, you can tell there's paper scissors. Alright. What I'm going to do now is, see, look at that. So I'm going to mount them on the side. I'm going to hold them with my thumb because that's where I want them. And I'm just going to take the hot glue and go to town. Ooh, that's a little toasty on my underfinger, so be careful. I gotta move it actually because it's a little too hot. Be careful. It's actually heating up the embossing powder a little bit too. Alright, perfect. Now I'm flattening these out, making them pancaked as best as I can, because I don't want it to affect the rays of this too much. Alright, and I'm going to just leave the length of this because I'm going to use it to help flatten this out a little bit. So we need a little bit more hot glue. Perfect. Now let's be careful because it is very toasty. We're just going to press these in here and flatten them out. And that is also going to give us a rise. Alright, now let's see here. Yeah, I kind of like that. Alright, this, we're going to keep it a little simple. I do like this, so I'm going to possibly add it maybe like that or something. Let's see what we think. Yeah, I like it. Okay, we're going to glue this with our 3-in-1 by Beacon. And I want this torn up part, the scroochy looking part. I know I'm making my own words, I'm terrible. On the outside. Alright, let's hold this cover down. We're just gonna shoop right on there. And then we're going to do the same thing with this piece. I don't like that pointy part. On the lighter side, where the scratchies are all like not as visible too, because you can see like the little tear edges better on this side. Now we're just gonna drop that in place. I like the points on this side better. I don't even like the points, but they're there, so they're there. All right. Now we are going to, and you see how that didn't mount very well? I'm going to use the hot glue gun and mount it a little better. I'm going to push it down. I'm just going to use this because my finger is tired of getting a little toasty. Perfect. Now it just needs to cool because you know it's extra, extra hot. All right. Let's get some extra glue on this lovely lady. And we're just going to stick it in place. All right. No going back now. Right there. That's where it's going. Just right there. All right, and now let's get some of these beautiful flowers in here. I don't want that one. It doesn't have the lace. I love how outgoing this one is. Very outgoing. It's a funny way to explain a flower, but it seems outgoing. All right, I'm just going to put it on the stem. And we're going to slide it. Oh! It did not want to slide right in there. We're just going to better slide it right in there. All right, I'm going to push it down a little bit. Perfect. All right, let's see here. All right, make that at an angle, just like that. Just a little bit of hot glue, nothing crazy. And I'm going to just shove it at an angle, like that. And I think I want 3 along the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and angle this again. Some more glue. We're going to hold all this back. And right up next to this one. Just going to put it right there. And one more for good measure. All right. Just grab all of these. Bend this guy over. Get some hot glue on there. And then we're going to go ahead and slide that right in there. And I want this one shifted up a little bit more. There. Perfect. And these ones are just going a little crazy. Now we have a beautiful little itty bitty journal ready to fill with all of your dreams. This lovely, along with a few select others coming soon, will be in the shop. What do you guys think? Do we need... I feel like we need one right there. I do. I feel like it needs one. And it doesn't need that one. It needs one of these, yeah, one of these ones. This little bit smaller looking one. Yeah, and I'm not going to put it like, yeah, that's perfect. I love it. Okay. So we're going to hook it right there. Perfect. Now I feel like I shouldn't have put one there. Now I want to put more. I'm going too crazy. Enough. I need something right there though. I can't help myself, guys. I can't help it. Yep, I like it. It's going. Alrighty. We're doing it. we are doing it. Okay. Alrighty. 6 flowers and a wonderful bundle of gold loopy joy on top. Ready for all of your Christmas memories. Alrighty, that is today's video for you guys. For me, I still got one more to do. Alrighty, I hope to see you guys soon. This lovely will hopefully be listed this next week along with some other goodness. I will talk to you later. Bye. Okay guys, so I talked about it in my previous video and in the vlog. If I did not mention it in this video, I'm sorry, and I'm pretty sure I didn't. If you haven't checked out that video already, please do. It is for these lovelies. That video was a very fun and interesting video. So this video is what we're making today. And for the cover, you notice that it is a very thick cardstock. This is what I used. So it's watercolor by Canson, and it is a very heavy duty paper, and of course it is used for watercoloring. So if you want to open this up and watercolor on the inside, you are available to. As well, if you would like to utilize this watercolor paper in place of this regular standard printer paper for this journal, it is easy just to use that paper in place of this printer paper for this tutorial today. Obviously, you're not going to be able to cut that paper in one big stack like I will do with this paper. You will have to cut this thicker paper individually. But it will definitely be well worth it because you will have a little watercolor journal, which will also be available soon in my shop. All right. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. Bye.